There is no better time than now to check out Throne and Liberty. Even if you're a more seasoned player, this guide will help you massively to increase the power of your character and ultimately get a full set of skills maxed out along with a full set of gear. So here I will show you all the details step by step on what you should be doing to upgrade your character in Throne and Liberty. So once you've picked up the game, you're just going to have to go through the tutorial. And that's very simple. Follow the steps the game leads you on and pick up the free gear you obtain. You will start out with a bunch of green gear, and when you're able to level it up with equipment enchanting, do so. After that, you will transition to blue gear, and so you will select that blue item and you will transfer the green item into that, and you will eventually do it from blue to purple. Now there's one thing to be very careful of. The game has introduced this, say, rare level 2 equipment. There are ultimately a lot of advantages with it, particularly when upgrading the traits. But it is honestly less efficient, but will allow you to get to tier 2 gear much faster and gives a power spike much quicker. I'll get into more details later. With those tips in mind, you will simply begin your adventure. You can check out your Codex here. By default, it's J on PC, and you're ultimately going to click on these tasks and you're going to follow them through. You can go to your content notifications. By default, it's N, and also see the chapters here, and you can star the tasks to prioritize to do them. You will get through all of these chapters, completing all of these tasks and obtaining these valuable rewards. You will get some free gear here and there, and you will potentially use it. Don't worry so much about which one you select. But if you really want to be picky, you can check your stats, and anything on the attack section, that's going to help with damage, and anything in the protection section is going to help with defense. So you can choose based on that. Dex and Wisdom is going to help the most with damage, Strength the best for survivability, and Perception the best for PvP and min-max builds. So you can ultimately see 10 steps here that you want to follow. Again, you begin with that Adventure Codex, and you're going to level up, get skill books and growth stones. As you can see, an example reward here, 20 skill books. And on the earlier chapters, you'll get like green skill books. And you're going to want to work on actually leveling up your skills. You will start with just green skills, and you're going to use green skill books. Then you're going to progress to blue skills using blue skill books, and you'll finally get them to purple and progress them up so they're maximum level 5. Again, the blue gear you obtain, you're going to want to level that up with your rare growth stones. And keep in mind, if you get excess, say, green growth stones, you're able to go to a crafter and you can combine the green ones together to make blue ones. You'll be able to do that similarly with blue ones to create purple ones. And you can do the opposite with dissolving. You can convert your purple into blue and similarly blue down to green if you need that for the certain equipment. You need blue growth stones for blue gear, purple growth stones for purple gear. While you're doing your Adventure Codex, you will want to work on upgrading a full set of blue gear and weapons. I have it listed as T1 blue gear. That means this level 1 rare gear, but you can just as well upgrade your rare level 2 gear. You will just skip step 9 and 10 as you won't be transitioning to tier 1 purple. From there, you want to upgrade all of your skills to purple level 1. Throughout the codex and leveling up, you get an absolute ton of these skill books and should have no trouble leveling them up. At later stages, you'll get more purple ones, and this is going to be the same with the growth stones to level up armor. You can also, while doing the Adventure Codex, do some missions from the Exploration Codex. So when you unlock a new area, as per these chapters, that area will allow you to do certain extra missions within there. And those extra missions are highly advisable to do because of the extra growth stones you get here, including sometimes skill books. And what's very important is these special resistance medals. They're going to give you a ton of value. In many different cities, you'll find them. The merchant looks exactly like this, same icon everywhere, and he has a ton of goods for you. You will want to prioritize those growth stones for weapons, armor, and accessories. The skill books too, particularly the omnipotence ones. You need them to upgrade omnipotent skills, However, a lot of builds will only need like 1 or maximum 2 of those. And so it is highly recommended you go here and you dissolve those omnipotent skill books. And that gives you these standard skill books that you can use to upgrade all the rest of your skills. And you get 3 for just 1 omnipotence book. So from this resistant merchant, you can purchase 200 omnipotent skill books. That's equivalent of 600 normal precious skill books on top of the extra ones you buy here, and then all the blue ones you can get too. You will combine this with a bunch of other sources like the ornate coin shop. Interacting with mysterious books around the map will give you ornate coins. Here in the shop section, you click here is the ornate coin shop, and you will want to buy the omnipotent skill books, which again you can dissolve, but you also want the standard skill books along with your blue ones, and you will also get all your growth stones too. And you will ultimately be able to upgrade a full set of skills, well, nearly a full set of skills, to maximum level 5. You can see the breakdown of that here, the amount you actually need, and then the total you actually gain just by doing all of these activities and obtaining them. And again, you can see exactly how much on average you need per skill to max level it up. After that, you want to make sure you're doing your Taedal's Tower. At this point, with max level skills, it should be no problem at all. Your Taedal's Tower is a secret dungeon, and it ultimately gives you a ton of value in terms of growth stones and will help you upgrade a lot of your gear. And so combining all of that with the previous tasks, you should have more than enough growth stones to max out nearly a full set of purple gear. Again, you can see how much you need and how much you actually obtain by doing these tasks. You can see how much you need to max out a blue piece of gear. Again, this is a tier 1 rare piece, and then how much to upgrade a tier 1 purple piece. You can be slightly more efficient and level that purple piece up to 7 and 30%, and then transfer the blue piece into it, and it's honestly only going to save you like 1 growth stone on average. The alternative is when you get this rare level 2 equipment, you will simply level that up, but it will cost you a lot more of these blue stones to level up than a level 1 blue piece of equipment. Twice as many. But you also then, like we mentioned earlier, will skip step 9 and 10. You will not transfer to tier 1 purple gear, and you will not upgrade that purple gear. You simply stick to upgrading this rare level 2 gear. It's going to have the same power level, the same effectiveness, if not a little bit more than an epic level 1 equipment. You will just need a lot more blue growth stones, and so you can dissolve the ones that you obtain via the questing, and you'll get more than enough of those blue ones to max level up that rare level 2 equipment. And again, the main benefit of this stuff is going to be via traits. It is so much easier to get the traits on this versus your tier 1 epic equipment. And so for any of you new players who just want to skip to tier 2 nice and quickly, it can be recommended to go with this, and you will max out those traits in no time at all, and then you will get that power spike really early on, and later you will transfer that rare level 2 equipment into epic level 2 equipment. But you will also do that when transferring T1 purple gear into tier 2 purple gear, which can be more efficient because your epic equipment can have 4 out of 4 traits, and so you'll get more blessings and it'll be a little bit easier to upgrade. But again, for a newer player, if you want to keep things simple, stay with the tier 2 equipment. You can go to your auction house, you'll be able to buy the tier 2 traits, the rare level 2 traits. You can see how cheap they will be on most items anyway. Don't get scammed, but you can also just go to the standard rare traits, and those can be even cheaper. And that's pretty much it. Aside from traits, you will have fully caught up with anybody who has just started Talandre. You will of course want to work on traits, and that is honestly going to be a lot of luck or grinding or spending some real world money on Lucent in order to get those gear pieces max traded out. Your next priority is going to be getting tier 2 weapons, and you're going to want to be learning your 2-star dungeons and slowly getting onto 3-star dungeons. When you get the combat power, you get the loyalty coins, and at this little merchant you can craft the good weapons here. save up 200 coins and craft it. Don't craft the one for 160. This is kind of just a scam. You can get those weapons for 3,000 contract coins if you want, but they're just not as good as the ones you spend for 200 loyalty coins. And that will be your next step. Getting those, transferring your current weapons into them, and slowly working on the traits on those, unlocking the runes as well. But as for your tier 2 armor, that will be something that will take quite a while to get and not as big a priority as weapons. You will run dungeons, 3-star dungeons as well. You maybe get lucky and get some good drops. And over time, after you've got the weapons, you'll get enough loyalty coins to actually be able to craft those items. And you will have to look on what builds to go for, and eventually you'll transfer your current gear into that, and then start the whole trait grind again. It is recommended you max the traits out on these items before you transfer into the next level of gear. That way you get these blessings, and those blessings allow you to spend them right here to get 100% upgrade chance when using the trait of a lesser leveled gear piece. So again, right now is the prime time to catch up. You may be wondering after this what you should be doing. Well, the end game loop is essentially going to be like this. Every day you get your daily and weekly sales from your certain merchants, like the resistance goods merchant. Try and get the crystals, magic powder, the base materials, and the ores. Then your guild merchant. Try and get pretty much everything that's sold out right here. And your sundries merchant, the same thing, those blue scrolls, and then your eggs, rye, and honey. And your contract coin merchant, try and get your ink, extract stones, pouches, and we move on to the next thing, which is weekly missions on Battle Pass. Simply playing the game and doing your other activities, you will complete these, get the points, claim all your weekly rewards, and the Battle Pass. Just keep in mind of these missions and try and get the points to progress along and spend your star crystals to get these very valuable rewards. Do your daily co-op dungeons. Every day you get a recharge of these contract tokens. You will play your dungeons. Ideally, you play them on the random queue. So you do like the random 1-star dungeons, random 2-star dungeons, or 3-star dungeons. You get this bonus pack and you will find a group generally much faster. And you will spend these contract tokens to open the chest to get a chance at some of the best loot. So keep on top of spending these. Do your daily resistance contracts. Go to a contract manager depending on your level. Spend those contract rights. You have 60 maximum and you will get 10 recharged every day. So you want to do 10 contracts every day. Do the ones that give you bonus ores, parchments, and crystals. And if you get a lucky one, do these that give blessing pouches. Try and do your field bosses every day. You can open your map. You can check the calendar. Field bosses are these red icons. You just need to go there, participate in the fight. You can go in a peace portal and you will get participation rewards. These give you more resistance medals, which again you will spend to obtain valuable rewards. And you even get more crystals here and a chance to get a selection chest which has all of the best stuff that the boss can actually drop as a choice pack. Do your weekly solo dungeons. If you're a new player, you might only be able to do tier 1 and that's fine. You'll still be able to get some great loot here. You also have Gate of Infinity, which is useful to do just for the achievement rewards. Do your Amatoy expeditions. If you do your appendixes while leveling up, you will unlock this place and you interact with the table and you send these Amatoys out on expeditions. Once they finish an expedition, you will claim the rewards and then you will send them out on another expedition. Farm your mobs to spend your Abyss tokens. Doing all of those activities will give you Abyss contract tokens. You can have 40,000 maximum. It will take you a few days to max that out. And you will ultimately go to these open world dungeons. Right now the latest ones are Temple of Truth and Birkenhead Estate, and I recommend going there and you will farm these mobs. You will kill them, they'll get you a ton of useful items including solent, ores, weapon mastery, runes, artifacts. Just use the find a party channel and join a group. You will also want to farm your mobs in Nebula Island. This is the Lawless Wilds. You will enter there and you will ultimately want to farm mobs in this area due to the certain drops they can give you, like these pouches which can give gear and artifacts. And finally, you can do your dynamic events. You can check on your map and it will show you these contribution certificates. I will leave Nebula And on the general map, you can go to the timetable and you can see these green icons. They're all dynamic events and when they will occur. You can go to them, you can participate, and depending on your performance, you will get rewarded. For the 15 that you do per week, those rewards are essentially tripled based on these certificates. And that's ultimately it. That's your basic endgame loop, with again the basic steps to do when you start out in the game. You will have to look at builds and see what skills are useful, or figure it out yourself and ultimately upgrade a full set. And also don't worry so much about upgrading the wrong skills, because you will be able to swap all the XP that you put in one skill to, say, a new skill, swapping them. And every time we get a new battle pass, you'll be able to spend those stars to obtain more of those skill conversion books. I generally prioritize this a lot, as I do upgrade a lot of skills and switch between a lot of builds. And you can see I already have over 50 skills maxed out when we combine all the active skills with all of then these passive skills. And there are over 160 different skills in the game currently, with 8 different weapons. So there's a lot to upgrade if you want to be a completionist. And you will have more than enough resources to do so over time, to at least make a few builds. Again, this is how many growth stones you're getting from Taedal's Tower, from your Adventure Codex, Exploration Codex, and then the skill books from Adventure Codex, and the skill books from Exploration Codex. With this being the ultimate amount of growth stones you obtain, and how many you actually need, along with skill books, how many you need, and how many you will obtain. So it's a massive boost what they've done with the changes with Taedal for any newer player starting out. You should have no problem catching up whatsoever in like less than a week. The only issue again is upgrading traits, but honestly, it has gotten far easier. Spending those Abyss contract tokens in like the Temple of Truth or Birkent Estate and killing these enemies will give you an absolute ton of gear drops here, including the blue ones, purple ones, and it'll be so much easier to get those traits done up. You simply go to enchanting, click trait, select the item you want to upgrade the traits on, and then you use other gear pieces with the same trait to upgrade that item. And again, the big benefit if you want to go with rare level 2 gear, it's the ease of upgrading that trait. It's 50% chance versus a 10% chance. But again, it's slightly less efficient, but you will skip step 9 and 10, simply staying with that blue gear you get throughout like leveling up, and just work on trading it out whenever you get extra gear pieces you don't need that have the same trait as what you have. And you will have to find duplicates of that item to unlock other traits on that item, or you buy it on the auction house here with these settings. You can find the traits of your item, or searching the specific name of your item, you can see this is the category where all these traits are. The tooltip looks a bit different and it's named extract, so it can be super easy to catch up right now and really cheap. So ultimately, I hope this helps, and it may even have taught a thing or two to some of your older players. Particularly with the change to the Exploration Codex, get those missions done. Those resistant metals are of huge value. If you don't have a full set of skills maxed out yet, buy all the omnipotent skill books, dissolve them, and get those purple skills upgraded. This should allow you, this alone, this amount of omnipotence books, dissolve them and it should get you 13 skills max level 5. So more than enough when you combine with all the other sources of free books. And of course you can move on from there to craft more based on the parchments you earn, but that will take a bit of grinding. And there's, a ton of other value rewards here too. Just don't go buying these unlock stones yet until you've actually obtained the other useful stuff, because those are super expensive. Like I will get all of these growth stones for accessories and armor. That's like 100 each. And I will also want to earn some more to be able to buy the weekly amount of polished crystals and the weekly amount of powder, materials, and ores. And again, you will get a load of these medals from the Exploration Codex primarily. Like all the Talandre tasks give you 2 each and they're super simple to do, and then you will get more, 1 for every field boss you go to. But that's it for now. Thanks all for watching, and we'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.